Hey folks, Dude here, coming to you again, another iteration of, I got the busted ass foam core out, so, you know what that means? It means I have a reason to make a video. Today's video is gonna be, maybe not a knife blog per se, but it's gonna be me riffing on, collectibles. Now, the thing about it is obviously, I do tend towards the obscure, the kind of strangely encountered, the unusual, and that kind of stuff that's really not easy to find. Like I really like finding like collectible items, like this one being a Gerber bolt action rescue. Obviously, you see the scalloped edge, and there is no point on it. It does actually have the proper sticker on board to say, this thing really has never ever seen real use. It does have a little bit of schmutz on it, but that's easily fixed or easily hidden when it goes on display. You're not going to see like dirty edges when the thing is stuck up on the display area. But what makes it unique is the blade is in absolutely spotless condition, and it does have that sticker. So that one is not ever going to be utilized. Never mind the fact it's also a very unusual blade. So not needed. I have plenty of other knives. Again, thinking along lines with the collectability of items, there are some things that you just don't do. If you have something that's, new, unique, could be said collectible, could be said like still, new old stock, or one of those collectible items that's still, in its pristine state, you don't remove it from the packaging. Case in point. It came into my, hot little hands that pretty much I was terrorizing eBay yet again, and I could not walk away from this guy right here. This guy right here. This one being a Techna Extra Edge. So basically what it is this guy slots into this guy. You have, one of these little janky kind of almost cable guys. You give it a half twist and it unscrews, or it unscrews from itself, and it is basically just a janky... It's okay. It's a key fob, right? But in the process of having this guy on your person, you have an extra knife to be utilized. Now, I do find it's actually kind of funny when they say, elegantly fashioned, this, that, and the other thing, razor sharp chrome aluminum, blah, 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 blah. It's 440 stainless, folks, okay? That's what they were using back in the day. Thus verified and iterated therein by, you can see also just how much this thing has been, cooked. Along the edge, you can see it's got a suntan. It is the original packaging. And the reason why it is so horribly, verified, just, hang on a sec, wrong button. Let me get my stuff squared away here. Okay, so basically you have that copyright date. Now that denotes that this is a obviously old piece of kit. You can see, obviously, it does, like I said, it does have the suntan. You see it's faded here, and it's faded here, and it looks good here. So, obviously, this guy was on display, and there was something, bumping the camera, there was something backing this up and guarding this area from getting sunburned, while these areas were getting plenty of UV. The other thing, too, is also this packaging. I actually did have to de-boo-boo it. I gotta have to re-unboo-boo it. But it is a ABS case. And, it's actually cracked. But, oh well, I'm not going to worry about that. Once it goes on display, you're really not going to worry about seeing that. I did try to stick it together with some crazy glue, but apparently that just didn't work. See a small secondary crack here. But it is the original packaging. This, of course, being, probably ABS plastic, which is really, really not known for its great, longevity and the ability to, deal with age. So it was the hardcore great plastic of its day. Nowadays, not nearly so much. I don't know why it's got that stain on there, but that's all stuff that is basically going to be, verifying, validating, and of course, showing this thing for what it is. I mean, to find these things still in the packaging is very unusual indeed. As a matter of fact, it's actually kind of hard because most of the time you see these guys, it's been pulled out, it's been, it's been raped. It's been raped, utilized, shredded, unadulteratedly boogered, and, basically put away wet and all the rest of that fun stuff that there. But for this one to have the copyright date of 1985, this is a pre-1990 edition of this Techna Extra Edge. Now, in terms of usability on these guys, is it really that amazing of something to have on your person. No, but it was pretty cool to have back in the day. It's an extra knife to have on your person. Truthfully, my niece was shocked earlier when I was showing her the price for, well, what I still have as my standard carry, which most people would never ever have on their person as like a standard carry. I still carry the Spyderco wallet knife. Basically also known as the Spider card. And I've been carrying that thing forever. And the reason being is I've got multiples of them, so I'm not worried about putting nicks, dents, scratches, a little bit of obnoxious activity upon a daily use item. And it is one of those things that absolutely, positively fits my everyday carry stuff, EDC. And I can throw it in my wallet and I scarcely know it's there. As a matter of fact, it's so unobtrusive to me that I've almost actually flown with it a few times. So having something that really truly fits on your person and it is usable when you truly, truly, truly do need it. I mean, even case in point, this guy is so unobtrusively small. I mean, all fully assembled, it's maybe like 2.5 inches long, and you can see it is, well, it's bitty. I mean, you could put this thing in your wallet in some of the pockets, and you probably wouldn't even really know it was there. So it's basically having a knife on your person. Is it the best steel? No. Is it the best execution of a possible design aspect? No. I mean, truthfully, they probably should have made this thing with a skeletonized handle, and they could have made it with, other aspects, but, that's other design tweaks that probably would have come down the pike. I mean, basically, they were making this thing on the cheap. This is a molded piece. This is a molded piece. Obviously, you have the classic case of piece of steel, plastic squirted around it. In the mold it becomes a knife. There's other iterations of that, and I can show you, a classic example here. And this is a knife that never, ever existed in the real world, okay? This is something I've just acquired over the years, and it's been a couple of parts. I don't have the heart to stick it together and make it a real one, but the classic sense, of course, is if you look at, a Gerber knife. So let me squirt this guy up that way. If you look at a classic Gerber knife, and this never, ever, ever existed in the real world, because this one is a Guardian one handle, not the Guardian 2, and not the, the little pocket, pocket guy Guardian. This is a Guardian 1, a very, really rarely encountered item to begin with, and this autofocus is messing with me, so it's being annoying. Anyway, so the classic sense of the way this guy was assembled is you had a cast handle. Inside the cast handle, you had a hole. On the hole, you basically had a knife that was then stuck in there. So let me try to cheat this guy with a little bit of, there we go. You can see it has a notch here. And on the other side, there is a notch here. So literally what happens is they put this guy in, usually with epoxy, and it goes into the handle, boop, and it basically is stuck in there perpetuity. Usually. But it is not, the handle is not ever cast around these blades, okay? Don't ever let anybody try to tell you that that's the way they were made. They were not made like that. They were two distinctly different components, and they were stuck together with epoxy, okay? That's how they were made. Now, the classic ones that were done with the carbon steel blades, possibly they were made like that. Now, there's a very easy way to tell any Gerber blade for being what it is. And yes, you can see this one actually is one of the ones that does have the Loveless stamp on it, but it's not sharp. It doesn't have any edge at all. This one was still in the process of being made, and obviously this stops short in the process and said, we don't like the way this one's going, kick it out the door. But it does have a very nice Gerber stamp on it. But here's the way you tell a stainless from a non-stainless blade. You look at the serial number, and if it ends in S, it is always going to be stainless. If the serial number is just a serial number with just numbers, that is a carbon steel blade. Now, why this thing hasn't rusted up to this point, I don't know. Or maybe it was a misstamp and it might actually be stainless. But you know what? I'm not going to do the lemon juice trick on this thing to see if I can make it rust or not. That is really truly the only way for sure to know if you have a carbon steel blade or if you don't have a carbon steel blade. But again, in terms of collectability, this is some components that literally, for a knife guy like me, it is just, even though this one is actually probably a factory second, they booted it out because the anodizing wasn't good enough. Obviously, there was something wrong with this blade. They booted it out. Years ago, I was on eBay and I found these components and I put it together to be a knife that never, ever existed in the real world, which would be a Gerber Guardian Biddy knife with a Gerber Guardian 1 handle. This knife has never existed in the real world, and it has never ever come out of the factory. It's just me playing around with components that were basically seconds to build a knife that's never ever really truly going to exist. Is it something that's ever going to leave my collection? No. Let me do the zoomy thing so I can get everybody in the frame. So anyway, case in point, collectability, finding stuff that is new, old stock in the packaging. If you have a really, truly, just completely addicted knife guy that just can't go, I have to walk beyond this because I'm just going to go bankrupt in the process, it's literally our kryptonite, and we cannot resist it. Anyway, folks, I'm going to break up with this one. Eat your kryptonite ring as always, you know it, you love it. And, of course, catch me on Tuesdays on my podcast of Dude After Dark, 9 p.m. on my YouTube channel, and one day later, post it up on Facebook. Appreciate your kind attention. I'm going to break up with this one, guys. Have a good one, and catch you guys later. Collectible stuff. Oh, it's just so cool. See you guys.